Welcome to today's seminar. Our topic is Unlocking Your Product Research Performance. For many of you, this is your first introduction to WebinarsNow. The company was founded in 2003 and is privately held. We are headquartered in Corvallis, Oregon, and have offices in major cities around the U.S. We've experienced great success in the past 6 years providing research consulting services to the food, beverage, personal and household care industry. As experts in consumer product research, our focus is threefold. We design research holistically, resulting in better and faster learning. We routinely apply real-time profiling and reporting to get at consumer emotions. And we build knowledge-based systems so you can learn over time and easily spot winners. Ultimately, we are passionate about our clients' business and improving the research and innovation process. Our speaker today is Greg Stucky. In his role as Chief Research Officer, Greg provides strategic product research direction to CPG companies and has consulted on more than 300 new products. His leadership extends beyond WebinarsNow, most recently chairing the IFT Sensory Evaluation Division and a subcommittee within ASTM International. Without further ado, here's Greg.
Thank you, Beth. Today we're going to be presenting some new consumer research techniques that'll help you shorten your research cycle times, communicate more intimately with your consumers during research, and improve your ability to deliver a successful product to the market. We like to make these good learning sessions and practical enough that you can go to the project sitting on your desk and apply at least one of the new ideas we talk about today. We hope that we can alleviate a little bit of your worries about the ever-shrinking timelines for development and in this need-for-speed world, show you that you don't have to sacrifice quality to get the speed that you want. We're also excited about showing you one of our favorite ways to hybridize your product testing that's going to get you into really great dialogues with your consumers. And finally, we want to get you thinking about how you use the knowledge that you acquire from an individual piece of research to help you enhance the entire research process. Now, I'm going to start with a little education on the consumer experience and how that aligns with our businesses and research. If your company is like most, there's a lot of focus on designing and developing products in bits and pieces. The roles and responsibilities are typically siloed according to domain expertise. So brand managers focus on brand development, naming and positioning, packaging on imagery and graphics, and R&D on the preparation and the sensory performance. And typically all of these efforts don't come together in the research process until the validation stage where final decisions are being made to go to market. But the problem is, as consumers, we just don't experience the products in bits and pieces. All of the elements of the product design interact in very complex ways during our experience and often changing based on the situation we find ourselves in. Let's take an example here. Look at the left side of your screen, Kahiki's new Naturals line. Just looking at this product shot, you as the consumer already have flavor and performance expectations just based on what you see in the photo. You're not reacting to just the brand or just the package or just the name, but you're integrating all of that information at once in a holistic manner. The brand, the name, the images, the package size. You're even considering in what situation you might find yourself using this product, and you might even have concerns about whether this product's going to deliver any better than similar products you've tried in the past. Similarly, you can look at the Purex's Complete 3-in-1. This product is going to fundamentally change your clothes washing experience. No more liquids, no more powders to deal with, just throw in the sheet and go. Now, you can't understand that level of change in your habits unless all the pieces of this product work together in harmony. For instance, simple things like the name 3-in-1. The name 3-in-1 requires that you have a 3-in-1 visual in the product sheet itself. Calling it 3-in-1 changes the visual pattern the sheet needs to have, or you get disharmony, which creates concerns and maybe even disbelief that the product is working properly. So it's the divergence between how we've structured our businesses in silos and how we experience products, which is holistically, that's the source of a lot of our problems. Now, this problem is further complicated due to the fact that 85% or more of all of our sensory perceptions are unconscious. Our sensory perceptions of the packaging elements or cues picked up during preparation or application of a product elicit unconscious priming or associations that impact our pleasures and our emotions, which in turn elicit behavioral tendencies that ultimately lead to the success or failure of a product. That means that when we have people fill out questionnaires about their perceptions, we're getting at best 15% of the story. We're only getting the tip of the iceberg, the part that sits in a person's conscious mind. That's really important to understand because our sensory perceptions are what cue our pleasure and our emotional reactions. And it's by understanding the sensory cues that signal emotion and the sensory cues that signal pleasure that we're able to design products properly. So thinking about that problem, it's no wonder that most of the company's new product success rates are really low. In fact, I was looking at IRI's Pace Setters list. It shows the top 10 new food and non-food products launched every year. 50% of the food products and 30% of the non-food products that are on the top 10 list get pulled in the first 5 years. And that's the top 10. So from a research design perspective, it's critical that we make a paradigm shift from designing products by their bits and pieces to taking a holistic approach to both innovation and research. Products must be designed and developed in an interconnected way. And it's not just the physical product that you put in your mouth or on your body. It's about the entire experience, including things like the name, the packaging, the expectations, the delivery. Now, we like to illustrate this using a cogs and gears metaphor. On the left side, the interconnectedness of the cogs illustrates that you gain efficiency and speed in the development of a product by taking a more holistic approach to developing and testing how the pieces and parts interact to form consumer experiences. On the right side, the research learning process is interwoven, including the interrelationships between study design, testing, and reporting. Efficiency in learning occurs with holistic research, where the design, the testing, and the reporting occur simultaneously. And a paradigm shift occurs when you interconnect the left side with the right side. Holistic development on the left enables new and more efficient learning, and holistic research on the right enables new and more efficient development. So this feedback loop turns the whole process. By spinning the gears together, you gain much more rapid development and increase your success rates by making smarter decisions throughout the innovation and development progression. So what does a holistic approach do for you? It will increase the quality of your data, reduce the cost of your research, reduce your cycle times by as much as 50%, and it'll really let you get to know what it takes for a product to be a winner. And I'm going to take you through each of these 4 items, and I'm going to show you why it works and give you an example of how to get it done. Let's start with increasing the quality of your data. This can be accomplished through holistic research design. By holistic, I mean understanding the impact of the whole experience that a consumer has. Applying a holistic research design allows you to understand the interactions between all aspects of your product and its use, which increases the quality of your data over having research designed by bits and pieces, one aspect of the product at a time. Now, there's 3 basic models of holistic research design. The first is understanding how all aspects of the product interact. To do this, you present all facets of the product experience in a natural, sequential order to ensure that as we change one aspect of the product, we're not creating any misalignments or disharmony with any other aspect. For example, changing just one word in the concept may change the choice of the best product name or completely reset our expectations of the features or sensory qualities of the product. Just think about your own experiences. how many times has the package design itself created expectations for how you thought the product should perform? Holistic design allows you to study those interactions. The second assesses the moments of truth. Moments of truth are points in time when we're heavily and intimately engaged with the product. Good examples of moments of truth are when we're shopping or purchasing a product, when we're preparing to use a product or consuming it, or when we're wearing a product. By varying the package, the preparation instructions, or other aspects of the product, you can identify those characteristics that create the most harmonious experience for a person. So this allows you to leverage the sensory cues that are going to enhance their experience at those moments in time and increase their consumption or use. The third model is to understand usage under different contexts by capturing information about who is involved. For instance, is it a lady impressing her friends on a girls' night out, or is it that same lady impressing a date on a night out? Where is the use happening? Is it in the kitchen, in the car, at work? When in the day? And what happens before and what happens after that experience? And how is the product used? Most products have many uses. For instance, ketchup. It's an ingredient. It's a topping. It's a dip. Hairbrush. It's used on wet hair. It's on dry hair. By understanding how these elements of context interact, we have a better quality data and create more successful products. Now, it's also important to understand that these three types of holistic development deliver different insights at different stages of the innovation and development process. Understanding contexts tend to apply to the discovery phase. Understanding moments of truth tend to be most used during concept development and validation stages. And understanding the facets of the product usually during the design and development. So let's take a look at a case study for holistic development where we need to understand how various aspects of the product interact. I'm going to take you through a quick cooking pizza example that we had targeted at millennials. Now, if you're like most researchers I talk to, the situation we were in is going to be really familiar to the ones you're in. The concept and the idea were developed pretty well. In fact, everybody was really excited about it, so excited that the company set a goal that we're going to launch and build this product in 6 months. So the team's first concern was, how are we going to get the name, the package, the product formulation, the best flavor, all figured out without cutting corners and reducing the quality of our research? Well, we used a holistic process to design an initial pre-recruited CLT study to look at all the aspects of the product and how they interact. So we brought consumers in, and they were first grounded in the concept. Then they rated several package types and articulated in what type of context they would use each package. Next, they experienced each of the packages with pizza in them and described and rated their expectations of product performance, serving size, and some other key measures. And then each individual participated in a product naming exercise based on what they thought was the best combination up to that point. So this sequence allowed the team to learn how the packaging interacted with the context and the product and the name. Next, they tasted 4 versions of the lead flavor. We had prototypes that were based on different ways we thought we could drive this concept forward. Some were more of a nutrition profile, some were more quick snack oriented, some were more focused on occasion specific at work, at school occasions. And each individual went through a sequential monadic taste test, rating each of the product on their sensory characteristics, as well as its delivery on various elements of the concept. This provided valuable direction for the development of the future flavors in this line. And finally, consumers went through a conceptual flavor filtering exercise where we captured their rating and their choice-based behaviors and provided that information to R&D so that we could focus on which additional flavors we needed to develop for that initial launch. So you can see how in a single design, we're able to integrate many aspects of the product experience and learn about the interaction between all the pieces. Developing holistically allowed early understanding of those complex interactions of all the facets of the product, and it improved the overall quality of the data we gathered. Which brings us to reducing the cost of your research. Taking a hybrid research approach and using real-time profiling to get you into dialogues with consumers will not only deepen your insights into their emotions, but it's going to collapse multiple types of research together to reduce your overall costs. So hybrid research is the integration of the qualitative and quantitative techniques to gain a holistic understanding of the consumer's experience. And we want to show you one of our favorite ways to jumpstart that dialogue that you have with consumers by using real-time profiling. It's a very powerful technique that helps you deepen your insights and gives you the opportunity to understand the emotions that drive the behavior for your product. So continuing with the same case study, while all the information that we captured during the first part was really great, it's still only focused on gathering the quantitative information from that conscious or rational part of the consumer's brain. To really get at the person's inner vibe, you got to get them face-to-face. Now, traditionally, you pull together focus groups and spend a couple of hours trying to dig down into the underlying motivations and perceptions, but those take time, which we didn't have, and money, which we didn't want to spend. So in this CLT, we already had ready recruited target group of individuals, so we leveraged them to get deeper learning. We brought down the entire cross-functional team on site during the study. We had people from packaging, from marketing, from sensory, from R&D. We had external consultants that had been participating in the early ideation, and we even had the advertising agency involved. Now, we monitored each individual in the study based on their responses to the various aspects of the research, and we pulled them aside at the end to participate in qualitative interview sessions. Now, as you can well imagine, each of the interested parties had their own specific needs for qualitative information and reasons for connectivity to the product, so we picked people who fit specific profiles, and those people got to sit down with them for about a half hour to talk about either the packaging or the naming or the flavors, etc. And this provided the team with the in-depth information they needed to make clear decisions about their area. Now, what we have found is that the key to making success with the hybrid research process is in your ability to pick the right people for the right interviews. So the problem with traditional qualitative studies is the respondents aren't really representative. They only represent your demographic or target profile rather than the opinion profile that you're going after. So you want to be able to hand select people based on their opinions or patterns rather than just their demographics. You need some type of real-time profiling to be able to do that successfully. Now, without real-time profiling or technologies, you can still get sort of there. The best you can do is scanning through the reams of paper questionnaires as quickly as you can to get respondents as they complete. But you need to just leverage today's technology. It allows you to watch the respondents from each person as they type them in. And we use this technique to see people's comments about the comments at the start, about their concept at the start of the study. And we were already picking people who reacted positively and negatively to specific elements of the concept. Then we focused on packaging, selecting people who were positive and negative to each of the package types, as well as those who had interesting comments about context. We continued to select others based on their opinions about the products, and those who thought certain product styles fit, and those who thought certain product profiles fit poorly. Same thing with names. So by the end of the quantitative portion of the study, we'd already selected people, assigned them to specific interviewers, printed out their answers, and the interviewer was primed and ready, prepared to have that in-depth discussion. So this isn't anything that's really complex. It's something you can be doing with all your research. It not only increases your knowledge, but it gets us looking at the raw data as well, and you know how important that is. But by hybridizing, we save money because we enhance the efficiency of the process. Now, as we continue down the process, increasing the quality of your data to reducing your costs, now we come to reducing the overall research cycle time through adaptive learning. Now, adaptive learning allows us to take knowledge that we gain during the research and over the course of research to hone and focus our attention, thereby getting rid of time spent building options that end up getting tossed out at the end anyway. There's more that you can do with real-time information than just profiling. When you select respondents, you can select them not just on their raw data, but also how their patterns compare to other respondents and the overall study trends. So in the same example, we use real-time data analysis to allow us to see interim statistical differences between the quantitative elements we were studying. For instance, this allowed us by about midday of the study to see that one of the test products was scoring significantly lower than the other three. So we didn't take up any more of our interviewing time with people who thought that product fit. We knew it wasn't going to win out overall, so we stayed focused on gathering more detailed information about the potential winners. We were able to adapt the research design and our learning process in real time so that we could deepen our insights about the most likely winners. Using real-time reporting enables you to have an adaptive learning process. Now, this technique can be further extended to do more than just dropping an alternative. It can be extended throughout multiple aspects of holistic design. So remember the gears. They all turn in connection with each other, and as we go through the day, we learn. In this case, we started the day with several names and package types and additional flavors under consideration. So by the end of the day, though, we had narrowed down the options to just the top few and had even added a new name that was offered by one of the people, and that new name turned out to be extremely compelling. Using real-time reporting, the team was able to conduct a debrief at the end of the day with complete analysis and reports of all the top-line statistics for all the key quantitative measures, and this enabled them to set an action plan for the following workday. No waiting around for a long interpretive report to set action items. We had hard, quantitative, statistical insights to go along with our qualitative knowledge. And this enabled deeper understanding behind why we were seeing the results. Since the entire team was there for the debrief, we were off to the races, planning for the next piece of research. So the power of combining adaptive learning with holistic design can be further applied to accelerate the innovation and development process, and this is where you gain a lot of speed. In this case, we ran several more holistically designed sessions, each with increasing focus on those elements we knew were set. So within a month, the sessions had consumers preparing products in their containers, comparing graphic mock-ups, and responding to several print ads. We were putting product in home, studying the context more intently, and tying that context back to the positioning and the communication plans. Now, all of this resulted in one of the company's most successful product launches, and one of the developers told me that because of this holistic process, she was able to get in 2 more product studies, which allowed her to create a more optimal product with lower ingredient costs, therefore greater profit margins for the initial launch than she would have typically been able to develop. Finally, let's talk about what it takes for your product to be a winner by using knowledge building. Knowledge building is something we often overlook, yet it's a great way to improve the success rates and really get to know what it takes for your product to be a winner. If you're like most companies, you've got years of data sitting away in Excel files, in reports, typically have summary statistics, you have lists of winners, of losers, all sorts of knowledge. Knowledge building involves the accessibility of your research data in a lot of different ways. And one of the most powerful ways is to establish flexible hurdle rates defined by the products, the consumers, the qualities of the product, and the research variables like context of use. most of today's products are still failing because we simply don't have sufficient information accessible to us to gauge what type of scores we need and what we need to measure in order to show that a product has high likelihood for success. As researchers, we got to get into the business of knowledge building. We need to be able to spot when we have a winner. Whether we're introducing new line extensions or we're just doing cost optimization, we got to be able to go back to historical information and find that information that correlates with success and use that information as hurdles to establish the response criteria that will allow us to gauge when a product is going to be successful. Establishing flexible hurdle rates and providing the historical perspective is important because that helps you look at the long-term success potential for your product. But the key to success for knowledge building is knowing what consumer responses to monitor. For instance, if you're monitoring just purchase intent, you might be able to kick out bad ideas, but it probably won't help you a lot in spotting winners. You need to focus on those measures that signal the greatest emotional connectivity to the product. And since those are different for every product, for every line, every brand, using a knowledge building system is going to help you manage that information. By applying the processes and principles I've shown you today, we've been able to improve product success rates and have been able to cut time to market by as much as 50%. And I'm hoping that you're going to be able to have that same success. Follow these 4 basic principles. Number 1, holistic research approach is going to improve the quality of your data. By allowing people to sequence through as much of the total product experience as possible, you're going to increase your understanding of the interactions between all aspects of the product. Second, hybridizing your classic quantitative research studies with qualitative dialogues is going to enable you to get at the unconscious mind, and you're going to get clearer understanding of the sensory perceptions that cue or signal specific emotions and therefore drive behavior. Hybrid research reduces your overall costs by enhancing the efficiency of your process. Third, applying adaptive learning is going to reduce your research cycle times, and by using real-time information to speed up the learning and iterative processes. Combining real-time techniques with holistic design, you're going to take a step toward making a paradigm shift in the way your team goes about creating successful products. And last, by taking time to create a knowledge-building system for your historical data is going to increase your chance to spot winners with a higher likelihood for long-term success if you focus on learning the consumer responses that create the greatest emotional connectivity to your product. So now it's time for you to go back to the research project on your desk. I believe that you can apply these techniques today to greatly impact your organization, changing the way you approach research and leading to greater product success. Thank you for your participation. Please look for our white paper, and if you have any questions, please email us or contact us, and we'll be glad to talk with you. Again, thank you very much.